Breakups. Breakups can leave us with one question looping in our minds. Is this the end or is it just a pause in the story? Hello and welcome to my very first episode, Under the Wild Moon. My name is Glow and I am the reader and intuitive guide behind Wild Moon by Glow. Now, on this show, I take real questions submitted by listeners and explore, the energy surrounding their situations through intuitive insight and oracle cards. So today's question comes from Monica and she asks if me and my ex will get back together and work things out. It's been a month so far. Now, when questions like this come through, instead of asking a strict, yes or no question, I like to open the reading up a little bit more. So the question what we're really going to explore today is, what is the energy surrounding like this connection right now? And is, reconciliation truly possible here? All right. So let's go ahead and turn to the cards and see what Spirit has to say about this connection. All right, welcome to this side of the table. So just to reiterate, the question that we're going to be going over is what is the energy surrounding this connection right now? And is reconciliation possible? So what I'm going to start off first here is tap into the unspoken truth here with these oracle cards, one of my faves to use during one of my lives. So what is the unspoken truth here? With the ex, or even just like with Monica. Let's see. What is the unspoken truth? All right. So we have 3 cards. Trust your gut. It's rarely wrong. I'm afraid to get close and terrified to lose you. Then we have let me go ahead and shift this over. If I had cherished you more, would we have made it? Okay. Let me grab some more cards here to clarify this out. Oops. Unlovable. Then their energy. All right, folks. So how I'm seeing these cards right now is like this. If you're listening in, I'm just spreading the cards here into 2 different things here. So this will be Monica's side and this is the X side here. So Monica, to start with you first, you have the card Trust Your Gut. It's rarely wrong here. And it's a woman in the street with basically she's in the middle of the middle of the street where she could either go forward or like backwards or whatever directions on the street here if you're listening in. Then the next card you have is Unlovable. Okay, I'm not gonna read this part because sometimes I don't feel like that connects with the reading, but I go with the top part that says Unlovable. So Monica, based off of these 2 cards, what I'm sensing here is you especially with this card, the intuition, trust your gut, and it's rarely wrong. It feels like you already had a gut feeling about the relationship and maybe where it was heading, like that, that you sensed something shifting in the relationship. And, your intuition likely, just notice emotional distance, maybe that hesitation or even inconsistency with a partner. And then after the breakup, that intuition may have turned more inward where this card comes up, unlovable. So you might find yourself saying, why wasn't I enough? Did I do something wrong? Why didn't they choose me? And listen, I'm listeners, comment below. Like I have been there so many times, and I'm sure people can relate to this after a breakup of having those questions. Okay, so that is where we're at as far as the unspoken truth and finding out the energy of, um, you know, the breaking it down into unspoken truth. Okay, before I keep talking in circles, now let's move to the X's. Energy here of the unspoken truth. So I am afraid to get close and terrified to lose you. Okay, so there's two individuals here with their backs turned to each other and their heads are lowered here. Okay, then we have the if I had cherished you more, would we have made it? And there's a person in a train station holding a bag, kind of waiting for a train, I'm guessing. But that is the imagery on the card. Then the third card here, the clarify for me, is not my type. And you just have a whole bunch of people staring at you on the card. So, yeah. Now, these three together show basically conflict energy if you really look at it, because it's like I'm afraid to get close. I'm afraid to get close and terrified to lose you. Logically, someone would be like, okay, well, if you're afraid to lose me, like what the heck is going on, right? So there is emotional hesitation. There is this deep fear of commitment too. If I had cherished you more, would have you have made it? And sorry, that was where the question of compatibility comes in here with these two. This is how my brain works and how I see things and messages that comes through. So overall here, your ex definitely, it feels like that your ex definitely cared about you, Monica. But it also feels very unsure, especially with the not my type here, and even this energy here. They just felt unsure of the relationship aligning essentially with what they wanted long term. So it does point to regret, but it does also, point to like reflection and not necessarily like ready to want to fix things here. So basically, they were afraid to lose you, and that's where the caring aspect comes in from. If I cherished you more, would we have made it? So if it's like if I had changed my maybe my type, if I had changed what I wanted, would we have made it? So there's even that reflection type there. But at the end of the day, it seems that they went with, you know, basically walking away, not knowing fully of the details of your relationship. Okay. So that is the unspoken truth where everyone is at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and pull more cards here. I'm trying to decide if I want to move these out of the way or just like pull on top. All right. So let's get the advice here for you, Monica. Get the advice here. Oh, you know what? One thing I did want to say, Monica, was them this together, right? Now, the breakup likely happened because your emotion Monica, you're like emotionally invested and you do sense the change here. Your ex was internally unsure about relationships and the direction. So this essentially like creates this dynamic where one partner here tries to understand like what went wrong with all the like questions I had asked previously, while the other partner here questions whether, the relationship was even right for them. So there we go. All right. Sorry, I want to make sure I break that down. Welcome to episode 1, folks. All right. So let's go ahead and get the advice here for Monica. We want the advice, and also if you could showcase is reconciliation possible? We have resolution. This one come this way here. So we have resolution, abundance. What else? depleted. Couple more. Okay, let me arrange this real quick. Abundance, depleted. Trust yourself, victim mindset, and scattered energy. Okay. So, based off of these cards here, you have resolution, you have abundance in the what I like to call the limbo stage, or like before it tips into like the upright, depleted, trust yourself, victim mindset, scattered energy. This is the after, or not. Let me take a step back. I'm trying to jump into this way too quickly. Spirit is asking you to trust yourself. Do you remember when we talked about like 5 seconds ago? Trust your gut. It's rarely wrong, right? They're asking you to trust in yourself with this. The card says, you've got this. You worked hard to get this far, and you have the ability to create things you desire. Learning to trust in yourself and your abilities will take you to the highest timeline. So, Monica, you had that gut feeling, you had that intuition, and they're saying it's time to really just trust yourself on this, okay? Um, you are possibly right here, right? Let me go ahead and bring this down. I'm like, let me situate how I see this. So we have the victim mindset, scattered energy, and depleted. So you're going through it, all right, as anyone would, and no judgment here. After breakups are hard, absolutely. Like things end, and it's like WTF, like what now, right? I call this the woe's me card, the victim mindset, the not basically those questions that we asked, right? I'm unlovable. Like, what did I do wrong? That mindset. Okay, so that's with the victim mindset here. Those questions, that's where you're at. Your energy is all over the place because obviously you might not know where to point that energy or that direction. And you don't really have much energy at this point in time. I don't know in the relationship if you felt like, you had to be someone else or tried to be someone else, or, weren't fully showing up wholeheartedly as you, because maybe you even felt on this end here that not my type. And even that's where the questions came in, right? Of unlovableness, not my type, struggling with that intuitively. Okay, so you're depleted, you have scattered energy here. So let me go ahead and read those two cards to you. You have scattered energy, you have too much of your on your plate and have lost focus. This is causing you to feel exhausted and overwhelmed. Prioritize your well-being and create a new plan. Now it's depleted. It says you are giving and not taking enough time to rest and rejuvenate yourself. Reevaluate your relationships and commitments, or you may soon risk health deteriorating in some way. Okay. So, something to work on at this time for you, especially with the depleted energy. Now, let's get into the good stuff though, right? Not that, okay, let me back up. Not all of it is good stuff, but they're saying that once you go ahead and balance out, you ground yourself, you fill your cup, you pour back into yourself because you're really depleted. You're going through these thoughts here. They want you to trust your gut. Okay. So you will have a resolution. Now, it might not be the resolution in which that you are thinking about possibly getting back together here. And I'll touch base on that in just a moment. But resolution says whatever it is you've been struggling with is about to be resolved. Remember that resolutions don't always happen in the way we hope or want, but being able to move forward and start fresh always brings relief. So there will be resolution here for you, Monica. But remember when I said this was in limbo here? So you have abundance coming in, except it's not there yet because you're here. You're here with the scattered energy, you're depleted, you have stuff going on with your mindset. Just saying, trust your intuition, work on this, and this card's going to flip up. You have abundance on its way to you. It's just in the limbo stage, and it's just kind of, waiting for that decision for you to make, move forward with taking care of yourself. Now, in the abundance says you're being asked to open to abundance, to believe that you're deserving of it, and to believe that it will flow to you. This is the first important step toward receiving it. Breathe deeply and trust that it's on its way. And this could also even coincide with this, because abundance doesn't necessarily have to be monetary, right? Like money. It could be, a shift in your mindset of knowing that you are lovable, right? Maybe just not with this individual here. And of course, that's something like a hard pill to swallow sometimes, right? Because obviously, you invested time, you love them, or obviously, I don't know exactly what your relationship entailed. So it's kind of hard to see that right now while all of this is going on. But you are worthy of love. You are worthy of the love that you deserve. So abundance is there for you. So just a heads up. Now, when I wanted to talk about this side over here, as far as if I had to answer your question about a reconciliation, possibly, I would have to say unlikely, due to the fact that again, this individual, like, they had reflected and they looked at possibilities between the both of you, right? They were unsure of the relationship's direction, and thought of, whether the relationship was right for them, and they made their decision. Okay. So it is unlikely, but what to really focus on at the time here, if they want to, have them do whatever they're going to do. Again, scattered energy, depleted. There is abundance on the way. Things will be resolved. Okay. Just remember to trust yourself. Trust yourself. You've got this. Like literally, the card says you've got this. All right, let me go ahead and shift over to the other camera. Welcome back to the side of the camera. So, one thing I want to leave you with, Monica, and honestly, anyone listening who might be going through the same thing or similar. Sometimes when a relationship ends, the hardest part isn't the separation like itself. It's the questions we've started asking ourselves like afterwards. Like, am I enough? Did I do something wrong? Could I have made it work if I just tried a little bit harder? But what these cards really highlighted is that this situation isn't about your worth. It's about the two people who were, experiencing the relationship very differently. And when that happens, it doesn't mean, someone essentially like failed. It simply means that the connection may not have been aligned in the way it needed to be. Okay, so back to the guidance here, the strongest message that came through your reading was to trust yourself again. Your intuition was already trying to like guide you, right? And right now your energy just might need time to like settle, to regroup and, pour back into yourself. Because when you shift your focus back onto your own healing and clarity, that's when, the abundance here that showed up in your reading can actually start, moving toward you. All right. So sometimes the clarity we're searching for isn't about getting someone back. It's about finding our way back to, ourselves, which we're all amazing, right? Now, if you have a question, to the listeners, if you have your own question or a situation you'd like insight on for a future episode, you can submit it in using the link below. But thank you so much for being here for my very first episode under the wild moon. I'm so excited to see, where this journey is going to go. But until next time, trust your intuition and take care of your heart. Okay. All right. Till next time. Bye.